All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Going to take a look at its local and city search here combined. See if it's got BSS. So we're back here in the GBC universe, taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. Learn more about that, pinned post, pin profile, whatever. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. We're missing people somewhere on our intent ladder here. Either the high intent people or low intent people or mid intent people. Here on this profile, this channel, this brand, we talk about BSS, boudoir search sameness, which we'll get into. But we focus on the highest intent people. People search for boudoir photo shoots right now on social search and Google search, literally typing it in because that's what we want right now. On our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, we talk about BLCS on our other profiles. And right now we work with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS, boudoir search sameness, means a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. 0 slots on page 1, that's killing us because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never go past page 1. So, and we want to deal with that 80% pack. That's the majority. That only stick on page 1, which means if we got 0 slots, we're invisible to them. If we got 1 slot, we're still essentially invisible because everyone else on the front page 1 has got 1 slot as well. So we don't stand out. They're just going to click through, click everyone's link over in everyone's, website, fill out the contact form. We actually are, what we teach here, so we want to hit the GBC minimum of actually 3 out of 10 on page 1. That means, they'll see our name 3 times on page 1. It's totally doable if using the correct strategy. And that looks totally different than everyone else having 1. Sometimes, occasionally someone will have 2, but dude, if we got 3, no, basically no one else will have 3. Ideally, we want to have as many as possible, but 3, definitely doable. Any boudoir photographer can do. 0, 1 though, that's bad because 0, 1 slots on page 1 Google is not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. The first root cause that everyone knows about, market saturation. And that is, more boudoir photographers entering the market, every day, every week. Seems like anytime everyone gets a new iPhone, they're throwing up their Google My Business profile, throwing up their website, saying they now do boudoir photo shoots, which clusters page 1 of Google and probably kicking us off of there, kicking us down to page 2 where we're invisible and we're dead from page 2 of Google. But the bigger problem that nobody's pointed out, I've never seen anyone point this out before, and what I see as the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses is the false belief of page 1 equality. There's a false belief that every boudoir photographer is entitled or can have either 0 or 1 slots on page 1. So if I have my 1 slot, okay, I'm cool, I'm chilling. Or, there's more market saturation. All right, I got pushed off page 1, now I'm on page 2, but I got 1 slot on page 2, but that's fine. So I'm 0 slots on page 1, 1 slot on page 2, but that's how it is, that's the game. No, incorrect. I'm from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in 10 days. We can actually take as much page 1 real estate as we want to put in the work to take. And because people resign themselves to, okay, either 0 1 slot, it's like people haven't even tried to take more slots when Google wants to give the slots to the people that wants the slots the most. That's the goal of Google, and obviously the most relevant search term to the user search. Now, a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness, so 0 1 slots on page 1 on Google, that's boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Because if they're on page 1, they got 1 slot, they look the same as everyone else, they're essentially invisible. They're going to be outcompeted, price shopped. And if they're on page 2 or anything, they're dead. 80% ain't even going there. And the precursor to a disappearing boudoir photography business is having BSS becoming a disappearing boudoir photographer. That's the first time. That's like the canary in the coal mine. But we got the solution because we know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. We know that because we invented it. It's actually been utilizing it about the last 7 months. We're happy with its results, so we're bringing it to market now. And S cubed methodology is actually a system that allows us to take as much search real estate as possible on Facebook search, Instagram search, TikTok search, and YouTube search. And once we take that real estate, the back end effect is taking as many slots on page 1 of Google as we want, or as we put in the effort to acquire. And the special thing about SQ's methodology, this is the only thing, literally the only thing that I've seen that can successfully outcompete market saturation. The only thing that can do it make progress towards it within 30 days, visible progress. Obviously, the only other thing would be brand, but that takes years to build. But if we want to fight back against market saturation, literally in the next month, we can do that S cubed methodology. And also, it's the only thing I've seen that even if there are 1 million boudoir photographers in our city, and we decided super maximum market saturation. They got their website, whatever. Each one's got their website. If we took S cubed methodology to the max, and we, ranked the first 300 slots across all social search for, boudoir photographer, whatever, Charlotte, North Carolina, that then flows to Google. So basically anywhere any woman searches for a boudoir photographer, Charlotte, North Carolina, we've taken up the first 300 slots, and Google, each page is 10 slots, so we're taking up the first 30 pages of Google. Our business will be fine. Our business will be growing. We'll be the fastest growing business in the city, even though there's 999 other boudoir photographers, because we successfully used S cubed methodology to outcompete market saturation. That's the magic of it. Well, one of the magic things of it. There's also some more magical things on the back end. Now, once treated with S cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. So we want to hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 local, 3 out of 10 for our city. Because if we got 0 on page 1, or on page 2, we're dead. If we got 1 on page 1, we're still invisible, still basically dead. So, we'll be price shopped to death. 2, that's better. There's a chance that someone else will have 2 though. 3, basically no one else is going to have 3. So then we'll definitely be standing out versus the 1 slotters, and we'll also still be standing out against the 2 slotters if we got 3 slots. The extra bonus is every new link that we get on page 1, we kick competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. So either we do it to them, or eventually someone in our city is probably going to use this strategy and do it to us. And if they're working with me, well, I'm only working with one person in a city at a time, so y'all got to figure out how to do this yourself and put in the time to actually execute it. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. Okay, so we're actually being seen in search because we got 3 out of 10. We hit the GBC minimum. We can go higher, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. But we want to hit the GBC minimum. Because we get more and more visible, higher and higher chance people come to us, less and less chance people price shop, and there's fewer boudoir photographers to price shop against on page 1. So we're going back. We're kicking our competitors completely off page 1, making them essentially invisible. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So it's our full micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the two horns of market saturation and page one equality. And we got the solution though, S cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility, we become a visible boudoir photographer, and boudoir search, and we have boudoir search visibility. And that's starting the momentum. We can take this momentum as far as we want to go to also be dominating page one, as many slots as we want to go for. Now, this is my results using this. Was bringing basically ranking for this term up at the top. Bring it out here eventually. Term is BLCS Boudoir. All right, here we go. BLCS Boudoir. It's for the other account, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, the other accounts, the other brand. So we see we got the AI overview, which is not me yet. Got the Google Map Pack. And then we got, here we go. Now we are at the organic. So I got slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, slot 5, slot 6, slot 7, slot 8, and slot 10. So I got 9 out of 10 slots, did this in 10 days. Someone searching BLCS Boudoir. Who are they coming to? Obviously me. It's person number 9. I don't stand any chance. And this is in 10 days. I could keep going. I could take, eventually, I believe, takes that slot 9 as well. And so these are my results doing this. Now, onto the main event. We're going to see for this boudoir photography business, for its local and city search combined here, seeing if it actually reaches, see if it's got BSS, see if it's in the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. Let's check it out. So we're going to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. All right, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Let's go to the organics. Boom, got organic one. Well, Google's stuck thinking there. Oh, data's off. Boom, we got 2. Boom, we got 3. Yeah, we'll count that one, Chamber of Commerce. Boom, we got 3. All right, so we got 3 out of 10. Nice. Very good. So for our local and city search combined here, we got we do not have BSS and we hit the GBC recommend minimum. 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. So all is looking perfect. So if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, you've got BSS, you did your local search and your city search, and you saw, you only got either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google, and or you have not hit the GBC minimum, recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots on page 1. And you understand the page 1 equality belief, and now you're like, oh yeah, obviously that's false, when we didn't really even think about it before, because now we see how I got 9 out of 10 on page 1 of Google organic search results. And you understand the market saturation, yeah. New iPhones, new boudoir photographers, new camera, new boudoir photographers. But you're also seeing AI take more and more people's jobs, and you're like, okay, like COVID brought in a flood of boudoir photographers. AI is taking more people's jobs, probably gonna bring in a flood of boudoir photographers as well. So you want to prepare for the influx of supply of sellers by kind of fortifying your page 1 Google presence. So essentially never allow those people joining to show up page 1 on Google. And you see S-cubed methodology, and you're like, yes, finally, I've been waiting for something like this. So you want to use S-cubed methodology to achieve page 1 visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer, achieve boudoir search visibility. And also you want the back-end bonuses of using S-cubed methodology as well, which we haven't talked about yet, we'll talk about now, which is we're basically building thematic keyword columns um, via social and on Google that are kind of columns plugged into our brand, our basically the name of our business, our social handles. And those thematic keyword columns, guess what? They increase the probability we show up here in the AI overview. They increase the probability we show up in AI search like ChatGPT search, Claude search, Perplexity search, Microsoft Copilot search, Google Gemini search. Increase in the probability there. And last time I did ChatGPT search for boudoir photographers in the city, recommended me, it only gave me 3. And AI search is increasing every single day. More and more people use an AI search every single day. Still, Google is about 90% search volume, but we're kind of pre-positioning ourselves AI search, which S-Cube methodology helps with. And kind of once we build this kind of back-end invisible momentum, these thematic keyword columns that plug into all these, basically prevent people ranking on page 1 against us and build up keep building up and increase our probability of showing up across all these AI searches. And you decide you want to be a first mover because this has got to get done. Start building up this momentum because again, ads momentum goes to 0 when you stop spending. This momentum will continue ongoing. Basically, these have momentum, not infinite momentum, but you decide you want to start the momentum, then keep growing the momentum, actually dominate page 1. And you also see that the further you put yourself ahead of the competition now, when AI starts basically kind of forcing people to become boudoir photographers, you'll be well positioned to be unaffected by it because you've already built up page 1 domination, which is like, dude, that's like seven out of 10 slots or more. Page 1 Google, 8 out of 10 slots or more. And being recommended AI search, putting distance between you and everyone else. And you want to basically guarantee that you put so much distance, nobody can catch up. Instead of a competitor working with me, where plan right now is to only work with 1 person per city. Instead of a competitor getting all these kind of momentum bonuses and page 1 slots where then you would have to actually, if I were to continue work with them, you would have to rederive the S-cubed methodology on your own, figure out how to actually get it to work. And then you will never actually know if you're doing it correctly, how we've done it. And then kind of you'd have to equal our output to maintain the distance kind of behind your competitor that I could be working with. And you'd have to kind of double our output to actually make up that lost ground and build back up the momentum and take it from us. So you've decided, well, it's better to simply become the first mover here. So we get all the benefits, none of the drawbacks. So if you want all these benefits, shoot me a DM when I open for new patient intake. I'm not currently open for new patient intake, so even if you want to work with me, you cannot. But when I do open up the hospital for new patient intake, shoot me a DM and we will see if you qualify.